finish this file.
Oh, like a pin for you.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Anybody who don't have a release from basically
You know, I'm trying to
I've been working on the
expand.
Oh yeah. Let's say as my
Who's the question? Which is the question? Who's the question?
Prepare everybody places. We're going to open the box office, and then in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to open the front. So just be ready. I think it's going to be a little, Karen and Sienna, I think it's going to be a little wild and woolly because the box office was a little crazy, and so we're going to have a lot of walk-ups. So let's just kind of, let's be ready to be the ones that know what the fuck we're doing, because the people coming in won't.
I like that.
Okay. All right, I'm adjourning.
Well, good evening, stranger. Welcome to the poultry brothel. Here's a brochure. Let me explain how this little bordello works. Over here you have your bookie where you can reserve whores for your pleasure or purchase more chips for more readings.
Okay.
Cash donation bar so you can loosen up a little bit before the show. Various sundry items which you can also purchase.
Well, she's more than a sundry item.
I do hope you enjoy your show. Go straight ahead.
Thank you.
We turn outside that which most keep in. We turn curiosity into art, kisses into play, orgasm into revolution. We are sextroverts. We appreciate the subtleties of the inner thigh right as it meets the torso, the curve of hips sliding into hours of waist, dipping middle fingers into the gulf between breast and breast, brushing aside strands of hair, revealing back of neck, because every masterpiece begins with a fresh canvas. We risk too much rather than settle for too little. We open fully, leave nothing unexplored. We watch one another with eyes open, no shyness, no turning away. As the smile of your body melts into mine, our spirits rise here too, you know, as much as they do anywhere. Welcome to, oh, we're not on. Welcome to the secret order of the Libertines, an intimate revolution. This evening is about intimacy in a myriad of ways. You're going to have an opportunity to share literary intimacy with your poetry whores who are out front, who helped seat you. You're going to have a chance to share the intimacy of the confessions and stories of the essential experience, and the intimacy of the feministics, the rhythms, beats, and movements of our fabulous trio of a spoken word artist, a rapper, and a vocalist. Now, we've given you a particular setting for this exploration of intimacy. We decided that throughout history, a brothel was perhaps one of the best places to explore intimacy with strangers. So that's what you're going to have a chance to do this evening. Now, any exploration of intimacy begins, I didn't do this with Mike, but I hate it. Every experience of intimacy, much better. Oh, so not me. It's so not intimate back there. Every exploration of intimacy begins with mutual consent and certain agreements. So, for example, no touching unless you ask first, and we'll do the same. We won't touch you unless we ask you first. And no displays of affection that if there were an undercover cop here, you or we would get arrested. Can everyone agree to that? Because this is Philadelphia and I'm serious. Okay, thank you. Let's see, we also want you to make yourself comfortable. I just noticed that the air does not appear to be on. We're going to make that happen. We also have the bar out there, and we have various people here to make you feel comfortable and welcomed. If you feel too comfortable, you can say so. If you feel too uncomfortable, please let us know. You can go back and forth to the bar at any time. The thing about the bar is that we don't find bureaucracy very sexy at the brothel. So we really don't matter like those pesky things like the LCB and the licenses. We just make it a donation bar. But we want you to also understand that we're a pack of artists and whores. So any drink that doesn't come out of your pocket comes out of ours, so we hope that you'll be generous with us tonight. Without further ado, who's ready to meet the poetry whores? Yes? Of course, every good brothel has the madam, and I would like to introduce you to the madam of the evening, Madame Marguerite.
I think having this thing really close to my mouth is sexy.
I do. I think the way you do it is sexy. Could you do that a little bit more?
Okay.
Okay.
I have betrayed us. My body has betrayed us. It has turned sex into a metaphor for love, love into something understandable. It has reduced everything to the real, the rational, unlike the mind, which prefers abstractions and willfully forgets feeling anything at all. It remembers. It has no shame. Touch me. You'll see what I mean. Welcome. I'm Marguerite. I'm the Madame of the Poetry Brothel. You received a chip on your way in here. That's good for a private reading with poetry whore. So let me introduce our poetry whores to you. Up front, we have Violet.
I knew I had dreamt you, your terrorist eyes recalling visions of sweat, slicked skins, our bodies crushed together.
And her twin, Maggie.
All of us amputees bring our little digits. We are salvaging vestigial organs we have already forgotten how to live with, to build not so much a hearth god or a golden calf, but an obscured record, a broken place to fuck with.
And these two are available for twosomes.
Or threesomes, or foursomes.
Now, don't get ahead of yourself, dear. Dr. Blues.
May I bite you here?
Or there.
Anywhere is fine. As long as you bare your teeth, I will bare my chest.
Alessandro Campanelli.
Living in a constant state of agitation, fearful, lusty, and restless, with your door always open, so that everyone can hear.
Mistress Roxanne.
The click, click, click of her stiletto heels across the hardwood floor, a fleeting glimpse of her voluptuous pinkness caught.
South Philly Lou.
Orgasms. An unruly son of a bitch. She's your best friend. The one with the bad table manners. Gets invited to dinner anyway because she tells all the best stories.
Yeah. Tonight you are the Johns and we are your whores, available for your pleasure to read you a poem or two. We can deliver your poem at your table, out in the foyer, or up against the wall. It's up to you, as it should be, and your whore. We have a bookie who will be in the foyer and can help you make a decision if you're just not sure which whore is the one for you. And I can help with that too. I know them very well. She also has additional chips, as most of you already know. 5 for 1 and deals for multiples. At the Poetry Brothel, we prefer multiples, don't you? You're giggling, Miss Monica.
I am giggling.
We also have sundry items from our gypsy peddler. And all of our staff are talented. Even the whores delight in dirty ditties, tartlets. If twins aren't enough, there's your threesome.
The cock crowed in the barnyard.
Cockerel.
Rooster. Chanticleer. Male bird.
Like any whores, we're masked with character personas because we have to deliver ourselves to you, strangers, again and again and again. But we invite you to drop your masks tonight. There are going to be 2 whoring opportunities. They're 20 minutes each. Time is of the essence. So spend your time and your chips wisely. And when the whoring is over, please get back to your seats for our featured performances. I'm also available tonight for a price, as is Miss Monica Day, who will be whoring as herself. So without further ado,
Let the whoring begin.
So for the next 20 minutes,
Here.
then the teachers will start to get back to the feet so that she understands.
couldn't get
Last week I read his entire book of poems on my
birth control methods and spermicidal goo. I have an awkward high school flashback to my gym teacher showing slides of the most horrific cases of herpes I've ever seen. The choice was always clear. You could have no sex or safe sex. Safe sex meaning with condoms, of course. Condoms are the only way to protect yourself from unwanted pregnancy, STDs, emotional attachment. Wait, what? I began to see the association early on in my active sex life when the guy I lost my virginity to informed me one day that once I got on the pill, we wouldn't be using condoms anymore because I loved him so much. I suppose it is the riskier sexual relationships where we do need condoms the most. Or do we? One guy used to text me all the time to have spontaneous sex. Now, we'd only had sex a few times because spontaneous sex is actually difficult to coordinate. One summer night, after he'd been bothering me for weeks to have sex in public, I get a text message from him. I'm by your place. Alley sex? Now, I'm nervous, but I'm attracted to his adorable rambunctiousness, so what the hell. I take a shot of rum and I go outside to meet him. I said softly, massaging his cock. He stopped for a moment, confused. Then his eyes lit up in amusement as he said to me, "Oh, of course, you came prepared." Of course I came prepared. I hardly know you. But even in the more consistent sexual relationships, the condoms provide a different type of barrier. I was dating a different guy for a few months, and we used condoms all the time. That way we didn't actually have to talk about our feelings for each other. That all changed one night when things didn't quite go as planned. We finished having sex, and as we dismounted, I heard him say, "I think the condom came off." So we began the search. He looked on the bed, and I knew what I needed to do, so I went to the bathroom to begin my attempt to retrieve the damn thing from my lady cavern. I mean, my vagina kind of is like a cavern. During my first pap smear, the GYN actually told me that my cervix was all the way back in New Jersey. So you can imagine how difficult it might be for me to get something like this very far into my cunt of no return. A little sheepishly, I called him into the bathroom and I'm like, "Look, I'm going to need you to help me get this thing out." He's looking at me with a kind of horror. Not because he's afraid to go up there, obviously. He's horrified for the same reason I'm horrified. We may have just fucked each other, but now we actually have to be intimate. So here I am, naked, one leg up on the towel rack, ass on the toilet seat, at the mercy of the harsh bathroom lighting. I say, "Look, just reach up there and feel around for it." So he begins the search. He slides his fingers in, cautiously applying pressure from time to time, asking me if it hurts or not. Finally, he gets the damn thing. I can tell by the gasp and the adorable look of excitement on his face as he pulled out the shriveled mess as if it was some sort of trophy. Like he won first place in the ending an awkward moment competition. Now, we've been seeing each other long enough for him to know I'm on the pill, so we don't need to worry about that pesky Plan B run the next morning. After the whole ordeal is over, we're laying in bed, and mid-conversation he says to me, "You know, I've been tested recently." "Oh, I was too," I said. And that was that. See, the condom wasn't just a physical barrier between us, but a layer of latex love armor, protecting us from mixing our scents, ourselves, from creating that chemistry that only we at that moment can uniquely produce.
the unexpected loss of the condom was a total loss of security, dignity, and control. Without the condom, we're bare, exposed, and raw. Without the condom, we have to talk about not just diseases and routine screening, but we have to talk about our sexual history, our sexual now story, and holy shit do we have to talk about jealousy. Advertise for her pleasure, so thin you won't even know it's there, but you know it's there. That knowledge is top security, love, protection. It's a mystery how we can detach so far from one another when we use condoms. We're only a fraction of a millimeter apart, but we're light years away from emotional connection. Because the condom isn't just a flimsy piece of rubber we throw between us to prove responsibility. It's fucking armor. A pocket-sized sex artillery, protecting us from the sharp, painful stabs of learning just how much of us our lover actually wants, how much they can get away with taking, and how much they're willing to leave behind.
She lives near the beach, so I don't mind this change in my summer plan. But one morning, she calls me into her room. She's got to go out someplace, and she needs to dress up. Her bare legs crossed at the knee, loose robe over her shoulders, all splendid in her curly roundness. First I thought she was wearing a bathing suit. Then I realized she's wriggled unaided into her old-style, full-body black elastic girdle. And now she's completely defeated by the nylon stockings. Now, clandestine exploration of my mother's bureau drawer and a very close reading of the Sears catalog had introduced me to complicated female underwear. But I'd never actually seen anybody wearing it. So I'm mesmerized. I can't take my eyes off the swell of her breasts over the corset. And as I fall into the shadow in between, I feel my heart-on rising. At the same time, I'm repelled by her wrinkly, blotchy old skin. I mean, after all, this is my grandmother. She beckons me over to her, and somehow she manages to get me to understand what it is she needs me to do. So I kneel on the carpet in front of her, and working one leg at a time, I gather the filmy nylon over my fingers, and I feed it up over her foot, and over her heel, and up her leg, and over her knee, and around her soft white thigh. And her aura of powder and perfume drifts over me, and I'm stunned to realize, did I mention this was an old-style open-bottom girdle? I'm stunned to realize just how close I'm working to my grandmother's personal copy of the Divine Mystery itself. I shift around, hoping she won't notice the growing tent in my shorts. And I get her all smoothed out and gartered together, and she smiles down at me as I slide the last little rubbery tab into its silver clip. And she says, "Oh, I see you already know how these things work." My cock surges and I blush hot. How did she know I'd secretly worn my mother's things? Now, my grandmother was famous for speaking her mind. I would die if she was to notice my heart-on, and 1,000 deaths if she was to spout off about it. But she's on a track of her own that morning, and before I can change the subject, she smiles down at me again, and she purrs, "You know." Well, maybe you wouldn't know to look at me now, but I'd like you to know that there was a time when handsome young men would have fought one another to kneel right where you are and be doing what you're doing. I'm struck dumb. She looks at me again and she says, "But you're too young to understand that." She shifts her gaze from my red face to my throbbing center and she says, "Where are you?" Well, never mind. And she dismisses me with a wave, and I hightail it out of there and head off to the beach to cool down in the chilly North Pacific. Now, my grandmother never said anything like that to me again. She never asked me to help her get dressed again. Although she did expect me to hold her coat and carry her bags and do doors for her. After a while, the plaster came off and she was okay, and I went home just in time to go back to school. And thinking back on that morning, it took me quite a few years to fully understand what she had said and what it revealed about her and how it had affected me. And I'm sure she never gave it a second thought. But I grew up to prefer strong, curvaceous women like my grandmother rather than skinny little birds like my mother. And I'm fascinated by female things. And now that I'm about the age that she was that morning, and it's probably a full 100 years since the young men she was remembering were kneeling at her feet. Now I'm about the age she was, I look around at my own grandchildren growing up, and I wonder just how much of our adult sexuality is nudged into place by stray slap shots that ricochet across 50 or 100 years.
Thank you for being our Johns tonight on this intimate journey. In a moment, we'll have one last call for the poetry whores, sundries, and what's left at the bar.
Nothing.
But please, let's have a hand for Miss Monica Day. And the exceptional experience.
And Jackie.
Well, you're up front. Let's go.
Enjoyed your brothel experience, and we are going to leave you with one final song, and I want to thank the Feministics for their performances tonight and bring them back out on the stage. There's a lot of us to move around. We're like the herding cats curtain call.
Just to make sure real quick that we also
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Let's thank first Plum Dragoness. Lady Honey MC. And Alexis Gold. They are Feministics. They are local. You can see them here. And of course, our fabulous musicians, Elliot Levin. Called Freedom, because that's the end game of achieving intimacy, is that you share yourself completely with someone, they share themselves completely with you, and all of a sudden everybody gets a little free. So please, freedom.
Hey. The urge to shake your booty a little bit, don't stop yourself.
Yeah. Actually, the Poetry Whores at every other show. This is our last show, so can we hear it for you, our final audience? Amazing time, and every single time they do this, the entire poetry brothel is outside dancing. So I think
We risk life, love, peace, blood for the taste of freedom.
Said freedom, can you feel it ring? Feel it pulsate throughout your being. See and true, feel the joy it brings. Rich like the rich, they go to love.
Let freedom ring.
You know, hot like the love glow. Oh, ability to let go. Yo, genuine and you just know the instant. You need an individual who's free flow. You big, heart so big, ride on the louder. You dance till they dig, taste the good life, sweet like the big. Check the right aura, shooting out the wig. Freedom, to be free, to be you, to be me, we gotta be. Just be, we gotta be, gotta be free, sing.
We got to be free. We got to be free.
Yeah, we gotta, it's so easy. In theory, but clearly it's easy. Struggle with the puzzle, wonder what's the reason. I can't catch that freedom. So available, but yet little out of reach. Gotta shed it in so I can practice what I preach. Shed it in so I can practice what I preach. I gotta shed it in so I can practice what I preach.
We got to be free. What is freedom? To him, her, you or me. Speak low, sing, flow, or rap fast, plain and simply. Can you feel it surge? A primal dance of words gratifies the urge as mystic movements merge. Vibrations free to rise, earthbound spirits do drive-bys. Modern rituals unite ties, and the music gets us high. Do you kill them softly with every breath of your soul? To speak up for the oppressed, chant down the rivers of Babylon. Have a jig, shake it down, break on through, open minds. Get your groove on, bust a move, and color outside the lines. Are you ready to get your freak on? Tear it up, cut a rug. Cause in this temple, even the haters find the freedom to love. Now ladies, do y'all mind if I speak my piece for a second? Do y'all mind if I say a few words for a second? Alright. Freedom is a place, freedom is a space that I travel to when I need to get away, grind on a day-to-day, cause I love the life of an artist, but I'm tired of starving. Need to make my mark, but the failure haunts me. Wanna leave my job, but my boss is calling. I yearn to be a bird, but the sky is falling. Want to save the world, but the problem's daunting.
Says I gotta be my ears too. Gotta look ahead and stop checking out the rear view. Wanna fly high, but I can't get off the ground. I feel like what you said, and I'm thinking on this sound.
You don't feel it now, the paradox of whack. You got a budget to live, but where the money traps. Now I'm learning and living within my means. Now being a slave, just loving free. I know you're right, because I can't get my purse strings tight. I'm trying to save dollars with these nickels and dimes. But this change of mind still changes lives, cause we still gotta eat in these changing times.
And it's not how to try, things aren't what they seem. Gotta find a balance between a budget and a dream. The more I think about it, see it's bigger than me. This mental epidemic haunts humanity.
Freedom lost. Now here's the meditation. Capital punishment is around the nation. Is it retribution or rehabilitation? We got the highest rate for incarceration. We respect love, peace, blood for the taste of freedom. But there won't be any freedom if we can't bring any healing. Do you kill them softly with every breath of your song? Or do you speak up for the oppressed? Chant down the rivers of Babylon. I say, free to your dawn.